Fibromyalgia, real cause. Ouch. What's going on, Secoya Nation? Dr. Schilling bringing you today's wellness wisdom. And we're talking about fibromyalgia. And if you don't know what it is, we'll talk to you about it. But we don't want to talk about the symptoms because that gets boring. But if you don't know fibromyalgia, we're thinking about one of our participants named Stacy today. And it doesn't matter where you touch, it hurts. It's like, ouch, no matter, place your finger here, ouch. Place your finger here, ouch. I think they only require 9 points of pain throughout your body for it to be classified and diagnosed as fibromyalgia. So what does the word mean, fibromyalgia? It's like fibrous muscle pain. Algia is like pain, muscle, myo. So fibromyalgia, it's like fibrous muscle tissue. It's sort of the touch and things like that. I've heard things like the crazy cat lady. I've heard things like you got daddy issues. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff people talk about they think is the cause of it, which to some extent they're not wrong. But, you know, we do these things because a lot of people are sick and we don't want you to be one of them. So hopefully this is beneficial. If you find it beneficial, check out the YouTube page because we've got a bunch of videos on there that talk about a bunch of different conditions that I'm sure you know somebody somewhere who's dealing with one of them. And if you want to help them feel empowered to change their lives, that's one of your key tools, okay? So let's talk about fibromyalgia and the connection. Like, we always know, like, where it shows up in your body is what's going to determine, like, where you have most of your pain. Like, if I have fibrocystic breast tissue, if I have fibrocystic ovaries, and let's say my groin hurts a lot, it might be my quads. Like, everybody has a different part of their body it shows up in more predominantly or more intensely. Then you want to say, what is going on in my brain? So if you think about the body part connection, like breast is a nest worry. So if you think about someone who doesn't feel safe in their home, maybe they grew up in a violent environment where they were getting yelled at, or their mom was getting yelled at, or dad was getting yelled at, somebody was getting yelled at, there was danger. It's like danger in every direction, like I don't know which way to go. And you start associating that with your nest. And let's just then say you grow up from a child and you become an adult and you get married or have a relationship and you live with somebody, or maybe just have association with somebody. And you feel like it's danger. No matter where you go, there's danger. Like, no matter where you touch, it's danger. Okay? This is how you want to wrap your head around it because there's meaning behind it. I like to think about your detox pathways and your lymphatic tissues are not clearing well. So then you go back to the liver and say, what's my lack conflict? Where am I having a territorial conflict? Where am I locking horns with somebody? Where am I being deprived of what my needs are? These are all threads that, like, you have to look at not just like the neuroemotional part, but you have to look at the biochemical and structural stuff like that to understand it fully. So I try to lay this out here for you so it's digestible. You know, not knowing who you are in relation to others. It's like a self-evaluation where we want to be separate from someone, but we can't. It's like, you know, you can't avoid them. Like the shoulders, like if I have pain here, it's like I can't avoid someone. I can't get out of the way. I can't, you know, I always feel like a failure when I'm around them. That's like the shoulder, okay? When you're not wanting to, but you have to do something like we talked about before, you feel compelled. Like there are relationships where people feel compelled to have sexual relations with their partner, and they don't want to. But for some reason, you know, they don't say no, and the other person doesn't say, "Are you sure you don't want to do? You sure you want to do this?" They don't stop and say it. It's just like part of how they go. So they don't feel like they can refuse that. Now we empower people to say they can challenge anything they don't agree with. They can stop doing anything they don't want to do. It's their life. But if they don't believe that, if they don't give themselves permission to do that, nothing's going to change. So, So Stacy, forgot about Stacy. Let's get back to Stacy here for a second. So we already talked about how wherever she touches, it's painful. It came really down to her relationship with her father growing up and how she was always sensitive to whether he was in a good mood or not. This is just one example. And again, it can be extrapolated to all different people's lives. It's not going to be everybody's life. So this is not like we don't do cookie cutters. Nobody fits into this one box except for Stacy. It might be relevant to you or somebody you know, but this is just an example for disclaimers. Okay. So she has a struggle with males now. And so whatever relationship she's in, whether it's her boyfriend, husband, father, neighbor, coworker, whatever it is, there's an issue there. And okay, so she feels like she associates danger with that person or that gender. So whichever way she goes, there's danger. Up above her is a superior, her peers next to her, people younger than her. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? So it's like she lives in fear of making a wrong decision. There's like this guilt, like, oh, I always do something wrong, and they always seem to be pissed at me. So then, you know, the muscles are considered the receivers of emotion from the brain standpoint, okay? So when you feel it there, you're basically storing your emotions in your muscles. You can always do it, you can do it in your organ systems too, but The muscles are kind of the receivers of your organs. So if you sit around thinking everything I do is wrong, well, God, you're just going to sit here like in a little ball, like in fear, and you're going to be tense. Like, do you think your muscles are relaxed in this position? Of course not. Okay, all right. I'm just doing the best I can. Remind yourself, I'm doing the best I can. I'm doing my best, and let go of the rest. Whatever you want to tell yourself. So we focus on the brain because if the noodle doesn't change, the physical body can't change because this down here, in the absence of trauma, is being driven by what's going on between your ears. That's why we focus on brain-based wellness, because when your brain changes forever, your body will follow suit. And if you try to take a pill or supplement or do a massage or some rolfing or some other therapy that's going to help you feel good in the moment, it's not going to help you feel good over the long term, because typically, just like if you go to the gym and stop working out, if you stop getting the therapy or the supplement or the pill or the whatever it is, it's going to come back until you change how you show up in the world and how you see yourself in that world. So this is how we approach things. If this is your jam, great. Let us know how we can support you, serve you. You don't have to live in chronic pain. People suffer unnecessarily every day. Some people believe they have to suffer. Some people will try to quote Bible passages saying that suffrage is part of life. Whatever, we're not here to judge whatever you choose. Like, if you want to choose that, great. That's just not how we operate. We want you to feel your best, live your best life, and let go of the beliefs of other people and decide how you want to live life. Okay? So that's your wellness wisdom for today. Hope it's been beneficial. Share it with your friends and family if you feel like they would benefit from understanding why they might have muscle pain. And we'll see you tomorrow for the wellness wisdom. All right, guys. Have a great night.